everybody. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Heather Denniston, and you have just joined the Junk You Should Know show, which airs every Friday at noon live on the Well Fit and Fed Facebook page. But it lives forever on the Well Fit and Fed YouTube page. So if you are not a follower or a subscriber of the YouTube page, head over there to Well Fit and Fed on YouTube and click subscribe, because then you won't miss these shows. When you come on, tell me where you're from and what you're doing this weekend. I want to know. So I hope you are all doing well. We're going to get into some information about jaw pain today and some solutions, but a couple of things first. Number one, as always, the Junk Show is sponsored by the Change Cave, which is a 12-module online learning institute for women over 40 who want to ignite passion and inspire first steps in their wellness aspirations. It is $29.99 a month and cancelable at any time, and it is so much fun. We have such a great group of people who are participating in that and learning and growing and getting to their goals and being supported by just a wonderful group of women. So do come join us. Jess, welcome. Good to see you. And the second thing I'm going to talk about is the jump rope class that launched last month. We had a crazy amount of women go through it. 140 women participated in the jump rope clinic for women, the 10-day jump rope clinic for women. It was a smashing success. In fact, I want to read one quote. I absolutely love the jump rope clinic for women. Dr. Heather's passion for this sport is contagious. Each day is short and to the point, giving a few essential tools to add on. Jumping rope makes me feel so happy. Me too. It's like a whole new world discovered for me. Thank you for being one amazing teacher. How sweet is that? Thank you, Julia, for writing that. That makes me so happy. I love developing the course and I feel really good about it. And so it is now available as an ongoing online course. If you are interested, I'll put the link in the comments below. Finally, I have started doing something called live pops on Facebook. Periodically throughout the week, I'm going to just jump on there live with some tips and tools for you to use during your week. Might be nutrition, might be fitness, might be, I don't know, what do you want to hear about? So you could let me know what you want to see on one of the next live pops, but watch for those on the Well Fit and Fed Facebook page, full of content. I never want to go live and not come to you with something practical. So you can always be guaranteed that if you watch for a few minutes, you should get a little something out of it. So do join us. Again, thanks for being here. Those of you who are live, thank you so much for being here live. And for those of you watching in replay, I love you just as much. So we are talking about jaw pain today. I have a close friend who is suffering, and I thought, that is such a good topic to go into. I saw it tons and tons in my practice. For those of you that don't know, I am by trade a chiropractor, and I worked on jaw a lot, and I got a few kind of tools in my toolkit to share with you today. And a lot of what I learned from my associate practitioner, my senior doc when I first started practice, Dr. Woody Barnard. Shout out to Dr. Woody. And I'll be sharing some of those with you today. Hey, Hillary, great to see you there. See you here, there, wherever you are. Okay, so let's talk about the jaw itself. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of anatomy, but you know how your shoulder is a ball and socket? Well, on a dollhouse size, that's your jaw. Okay, there's a tiny little ball and a tiny little socket, and there's a little disc in there that slides so that your jaw can open and close properly. When there are problems in the jaw, often it is coming from the fact that that little disc has become either out of place or not in the right place or sticky or whatever reason. The little ball and socket may not be gliding correctly. The muscles around the joint may be problematic. So when someone comes in and says, I got some jaw pain, I am thinking, okay, muscle, ball and socket, disc, and something you might not suspect that is very closely related to jaw pain, upper cervical pain, okay? Or upper cervical problems, or subluxation, as we call it, where the joints just are not moving correctly, and typically it's going to cause some kind of nerve irritation, which can then radiate out here. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on what causes it. In addition to what I've mentioned, you can get arthritis in there. You can get just simple inflammation, okay? So we have to kind of pick through and figure out Well, what's what? What is causing the issue? Luckily, most of what I'm giving you today as sort of things to throw at it are safe for all of those issues. But as with anything, if you try some home remedies and the problem persists, you need to go to your chiropractor or your naturopath and have it looked at, okay? So, some things that cause jaws to become a problem. Clenching, okay? Are you a clencher? Hey, put in the comments if you wear a night guard. I do, and it's because I clench. Okay, if you, your dentist will tell you whether you clench, and you may need to be fitted for a night guard to protect those beautiful teeth. Keep in mind that when you wear a night guard, you're still clenching, and so we need to deal with that. Some people think that wearing a night guard stops them from clenching. You still clench, it might be a little less, but really the night guard is there to protect your teeth. Okay, so clenching. Asymmetrical pressure. So if the jaw for some reason has gone out of alignment and you're opening and closing in a malaligned way, that can definitely create some repetitive stress or some kind of inflammation or problem in that area. Yay, Jess, I do too. Hillary, do you wear a night guard? Share in the comments. I want to stop here for just a minute and talk about car accidents, okay? This always blew my patient's mind. It's an interesting fact, but unfortunately it's not a well-known fact. And so people kind of go, oh, I was in this car accident, didn't cause any problems. And then 2 years later, they have a jaw problem. Here's what happens. Your cranium is dense and heavy. Your jaw is light and not heavy. So guess what happens when you get in a car accident? Let's say you get rear-ended, you throw forward, you flex all the way back, you hit your head on the headrest, and you come back to neutral if you're lucky. Some people double whiplash, some people lateral whiplash. Regardless, those two densities, cranium, jaw, they're going to move at different velocities. So what kind of stress do you think that's going to create on the joint? A bad one. So very often when folks would come in from car accidents, we would always make sure to be checking jaw function. Even if it wasn't painful, it can be problematic. And so we want to make sure we address that. So if you have recently been in a car accident or you have had a car accident in the past and you're like, why do I have all this jaw pain? It could be related to any kind of whiplash that you've had in your life. So keep that in mind. A lot of people don't know that. Okay. Let's get to what you can do. We don't need to spend a ton of time on the anatomy of the joint and how jaw pain happens. If you're sitting there suffering with jaw pain, you just want to know some solutions. So let's do it. I've got 7 and a bonus. Number 1, super obvious. If you are experiencing jaw pain, stop chewing gum, stop chewing anything that is hard and crunchy. You're putting additional stress on the joint. We don't need to do that. We need to let it calm down. So stick to softer foods for the time being until everything kind of calms down, and then you can slowly work up. Take small bites, chew to the point that things are paced and easy to swallow, so there's no further stress there. Good for you, Hillary. You're going to hit on one of those points. Hillary just made such a good point. She was saying she no longer has jaw issues because her stress is reduced. Yes, that is a solution. And do you know I didn't even make it one of the solutions? Hillary just gave us bonus number 2. Reduce your stress. Okay, that is an incredible cure for clenching and jaw pain. Okay, ice massage. Now, you can put an ice pack on there if you want, but I find actual ice massage to be better. What is ice massage? You take a little Dixie cup, you fill it with water, you freeze it, you tear off about 1 inch. That's an ice massage. Ooh, just like that. No more than 10 minutes. When you're putting ice directly on the skin, maximum you want to do is 10 minutes or you risk frostbiting the area. So ice massage. So I just put a towel like down below and I just do and ice massage it. Feels so good. I can't even tell you. It helps a ton. So when icing, if you're flared, ice twice a day, 10 minutes a time on both sides if they're both sore, or just the one side if it's sore there. Trigger point release. So I'm not going to get into a lot of details about what trigger points are, but just consider muscles that are really tight for a long time, sometimes form little knots in there, and then they cut off circulation to themselves, so then they fill up with metabolites, and then they become even more painful. So for the topic of our conversation today, we're just going to talk about trigger point massage as kind of basic massage. But there are points that people don't realize they need to hit when their jaw bothers them. So this one's obvious. This is your masseter muscle, and I'm just doing some circles, and it feels really, really good. But here are some that you might not think about. There is a muscle above your ear called the temporalis, and massaging that, I actually just get in there and scrub it. It can often be quite tender, but it also can affect the jaw. Your suboccipital muscles, back here at the top of the neck and kind of starting up the skull. Oh, that feels really good, right? So masseter, temporalis, not temples, temporalis, suboccip, finally SCM. One at a time, please, or you can make yourself pass out. Just those straps, just grab one and squish it. And I like to do a little stretch while I'm squishing, so you'll see me kind of flexing to the side, I'm grabbing and then pulling it away. When I have a headache, that's one of the fastest ways to get that headache to let go. So masseter, temporalis, suboccip, SCM. Hope you're taking notes. ART. This is one of my secret weapons in practice to release jaw pain. When you shorten a muscle and you take a contact and then you have the patient lengthen the muscle through my contact, it tears up tiny little adhesions. It stretches and lengthens the muscle. It also tells the muscle, let go, it's okay. So here's what ART looks like. It's short for active release technique. Active means the patient is doing something. Release, obvi. Technique, yeah, it's a thing. So start with closed mouth, start at the bottom of the masseter, and this is what it looks like. The patient opens, or you open, as you swipe up to the jawbone. So close, open. Not too much pressure, but a little bit of pressure, okay? This little tiny ball and socket is very sensitive, very pain sensitive. So you wanna be careful as you're opening, but you do wanna get a little pressure to kind of stretch and strip those muscles. If you have a ton of clunking with your jaw pain, I suggest you get in with a chiropractor who knows how to work with jaw pain, because to me, that describes that you have an alignment issue, or the little disc that helps the ball and socket articulate together is out of alignment, or we call it subluxated. And so you need to have that professionally evaluated. So before you start doing some heavy duty ART, if you're getting a ton of clunking on one side, make sure you have that addressed. Topicals. You can rub some stuff on there and it might help. So Deep Blue, one of my favorites. That is a essential oil muscle relaxer full of yumminess like peppermint and all sorts of good stuff. It's great. And you only need a tiny little bit. Like this thing is about 40 something, but it lasts me working with patients months and months and months. And so take a little bit and just use it as part of your massage. I'm also a very big fan of CBD. That's a CBD, there it is, healing stick, CBD healing stick. You can get those all over the place if it's legal where you are. And this is a nice one because it comes with like there it is, like a nice little ball. And so you can just roll it on there, and that can be very helpful as well. And it smells so good. It smells minty, spearminty. That is topicals. Relaxation techniques. Just going to give you one. Because breathing techniques, of course, are going to help. Anything that makes you relax, as Hillary alluded to, is going to help. Just take it down a notch, relax, get rid of that clenching. But one little martial art technique to keep the face and the jaw and the neck relaxed is called the butterfly technique. And you take the tip of your tongue and you just rest it on the roof of your mouth as if you're just trying to hold a butterfly there. You're not trying to kill her. You're trying to just hold her there. So very gently, and you can feel this can't be tight if you have that resting on the roof of your mouth. So that's the butterfly technique. Chiropractic, obviously, is great. In fact, working with a dentist, often we had miraculous results between what they would do with a night guard and what I would do with adjustments, myofascial release, home instruction as far as icing and topicals and that kind of thing. We really could help a lot. And finally, your bonus one, neck strengthening. That goes back to what we said at the beginning, which a lot of people don't realize, that neck stability and strength has a big effect on jaw alignment, right? If we're out here all the time and our necks are weak, that jaw is not going to be in the right position. It's not going to be articulating right. And so eventually it could cause some issues. So we're not going to get into a bunch of strengthening right now, but I will put some links down below on some basic neck strengtheners. But I'll give you one. Resistive range of motion, which is so easy, you can do it anywhere. So our ranges of motion are obviously side to side and forward and back. And there's other ranges of motion as well in between those two, like rotation, right? And flexion in a rotated way. We're going to just do 5 of those. Very easy. You're going to put some pressure on your head, okay? Like your hand doesn't want your head to bend, and you're going to just very slowly move your head into lateral flexion, and then your hand pushes you back to neutral, and then your head pushes you into lateral flexion, and there's always pressure between the two, but not too much, like 50% of what full pressure is. So you would do that side to side, okay? Then forward and back, okay? And then hand on the side of the face, and you rotate against pressure all the way into rotation and all the way back. Neck range of motion, we don't tend to work on a lot. Unless you're regularly attending a yoga class, you're not like constantly trying to look over your shoulder and hold those stretches, but they're very important. So resistive range of motion is bonus because any strengthening and stabilizing you do here is going to support all of this much better. Okay, so just a quick recap. Jaw pain, make sure you get checked by your chiropractor if you've got clunking or anything that is persistent. And quickly, chewing, ice massage, trigger point release, 1, 2, 3, and 4, ART, topicals, rubby-dubby, relaxation techniques, breathing, right? And then butterfly, tongue on the roof of the mouth, chiropractic care, and neck strengthening. Okay, so as I mentioned, the 10-day online jump rope clinic for women, I'm going to list the link to that below in case any of you are interested. Also, the Change Cave, which we mentioned as our sponsor of the Jump Show, is going to be listed below as well. And I will see you next week. And next week, I've got something special for you. James Garrett is coming to talk about his Deep Change project. At the beginning of this year, he started on a brain transformation project, which was going to include all of the tech out there right now, including Muse and Aura Ring and all of those different things that can help you hack your brain to change any kind of thing that you want to change. He's working, I believe, on anxiety and a couple of other things, and I can't wait for him to come and share. So thank you guys. For those of you, again, watching live, thank you so much for being an audience for me today. And for those of you in replay, leave something in the comments, ask a question, tell me where you're hailing from. I would love to start a conversation down there. All right, guys, have a great Friday. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.